Okay, hello. So I haven't done a review for quite some time. I think it's probably a couple of weeks or more. I haven't actually checked, but it's been quite a little while for me, which is quite unusual. But I've got a few things that I've been thinking about, getting quite excited about business-wise, a few different ideas and stuff. So I've kind of been working on that a little bit more. So I have been reading quite a few books. I've probably got through 4 or 5 books since the last review. And I'm going to talk today about one which I've taken quite a long time to be convinced to read. But I have read it, and I will start off by telling you what I don't like about the book before I get into the other bits. So the book is by Kamal Ravikant, and it is called Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. I'm sure quite a few of you have heard of it before if you're into personal development. That's what this channel's about. So I'm about reading as many books as I possibly can. I tend to read close to about 100 a year, something like that, so that I can give you as much advice as possible on personal development. Not all the books I read are personal development strictly. Some of them are kind of loosely personal development. Some of them are even fiction. But most of them are kind of non-fiction, kind of personal development, sort of self-help type stuff. Okay, so that's kind of the area that I'm concentrating on. But I am going to be at some point fairly soon, I'm going to be doing some online courses around sort of personal development. So I will start adding links to the bottom of these videos, and please feel free to like and subscribe. And if you want to kind of see someone go from very few views and only kind of like 40 subscribers up to quite a lot more, I'm feeling fairly confident that I'm gonna achieve that at some point. So if you'd like to see that, then please join me on this journey and help support me. The whole idea of it really is to get good kind of quality information out there for people to sort of improve their lives, to improve their careers, achieve their ambitions and their goals through reading mainly, and through this kind of personal development thing that we keep talking about. So this book, Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It, I started off, I wasn't too keen. I didn't really enjoy the first hour because I found his voice quite kind of grating. He sounded very kind of depressed and whiny. And whilst I normally really like American accents in audiobooks, this one just sounded a bit kind of teenagey and a bit miserable. And I kind of thought, okay, fair enough. Maybe it's kind of aimed at people who are maybe a bit down and kind of in a difficult stage in their life. So I appreciate that. We've all been there before, and continue to go there at times, but I just found it a bit grating for a while. But then after about an hour or so, I really got into it, and I realised actually the value of this book is fantastic. So wasn't overly keen on the narration to begin with. Kamal actually narrates it himself, but I got used to it in time. I kind of got over myself, and I got used to it. And I just found the message to be fairly straightforward, but just really, really useful, really quite powerful in terms of personal development. And it's basically this message that if we can kind of practice loving ourselves through kind of telling ourselves that we love ourselves, or telling ourselves that we appreciate ourselves, and kind of practicing gratitude, which is something I always talk about. If we can kind of do that, then we can kind of almost rewire our brain to trick our brain into believing that we do love ourselves. And if we love ourselves, we're far more likely to do the best for ourselves. So if you're coming from a place of self-loathing or embarrassment or kind of resentment or bitterness, then you're far less likely to be able to succeed. You're far more likely to get caught up in those emotions, and for those emotions to pull you around in life and to kind of make you feel crap. When you're feeling crap, you're not going to be achieving, you're not going to be bettering yourself. So if we can get ourselves to love ourselves, and when we say love ourselves, it doesn't mean kind of think that we're fantastic, have this massive head where we think we're wonderful. It just means have genuine love and respect for yourself. Realise that people care about you. You should care about yourself. And when you care about yourself, he says, what would you do? And he said he asked himself that question, and his answer was that he'd fly, that he would do the absolute best he possibly could in every area of his life, and he would just literally just fulfill his potential and be the best person he could be. And that was the bit that really kind of spoke to me. So when you find yourself in a dark situation where you're angry, or you're resentful, or you're jealous, or whatever, then you just take these deep breaths. You just tell yourself that you love yourself in this kind of meditative way. When you breathe back out, you kind of say thank you for the things that you've got. So you're expressing your gratitude, and it just does. It's one of those things that might be difficult to begin with, but the more you do it, the more you realise that it starts becoming part of you. It just gives you that space to be able to kind of breathe, calm yourself down, get yourself back to where you want to be, remind yourself of who you are and what it is you want to achieve. remind yourself of the path that you've chosen, and it works really well. And I don't like to sort of spoil these books. I'm not going to go into the finer details because that's for you to sort of read it or to listen to it. But yeah, that basic message that I took away from it, that simple, straightforward message of just practice that meditation of just telling yourself that you love yourself, telling yourself that you're grateful for things that you have, deep breathing, all the things that we talk about in personal development quite often, and it just resets yourself, just grounds you, just gets you feeling calm. And it's a really good book actually, and there are some more details in there that I haven't gone into that are it's worth listening to the book or reading the book for those details. Look him up online as well. He's done loads of videos on YouTube where he's talking about the book and the other stuff that he's done. Really worthwhile, a really good book.